Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Stateside with me, Graham Hughes, and I'm joined as usually by Mikey Famine. How you doing, Mike?
Oi.
Over in Chicago.
Oi, I say to all of you, oi.
Does the name Chicago come from rotten, mistranslation of rotten onion patch?
No, it's an Illiniwek word. It's native.
Rotten onion patch.
It's native.
Yeah, but it means rotten onion patch. I might have just made that up. I don't know. Am I having a fever dream? I don't even know what's going on anymore. Hey,
I'll
Lily in
double
the
check.
chat, how you doing? Yeah, you check that while I say hello to everyone. Diz laughing at the old turdy Trump there. Richard's grumpy git. Sarah Davis in the chat as well. Hi, Sarah. We've got Asperger's Europe in there. We've got One Angry Pagan. We've got Hating Puds and Chris C. And we've got Tripod 900, Captain Davina, and lots of other wonderful people. No wrong-uns. No wrong-uns, please. If you'd like to join our beautiful people in the chat, just hit the subscribe button and wait for a minute or so, and then you'll be able to join them. But don't be a wrong-un, because we'll kick you off the channel.
Pass me the ball.
What?
Okay. And this Bin Podcast Network production is brought to you by our patrons. So thank you to Billy, Ollie, LeClaire Vert, Russell, Hayden. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our members over here at the Bin Podcast Network. If you are watching this over on the Politics Social side or on the Bin side, Cross-pollinate, y'all. Get to know some people. Maybe you'll get a drink with them later. Maybe you'll get married and be happy forever. You'll never know unless you subscribe to both of these channels and then talk to people on both sides. And back to you, Graham.
There's about 5 couples I know that met through me who are married with kids now.
Dude, I am the matchmaker.
If it wasn't for me.
I am the matchmaker of all of my friends. I have hooked all of them up with their wives. Like drunk on the table at the bar saying, you guys are just playing bullshit. You already like each other. You both keep walking around telling us, I think he's cute. I think why don't you guys just make out? Why don't you just do it right? Yeah, Dan and Erica have 2 kids and they've been married for like 8 years. So
fantastic.
Trust us.
Have you ever held a party and you've invited a girl
No.
that you really like, and then she's got there and tapped off with someone else and then married him and now has 2 kids with him?
Nope, because I don't invite people to my
More than once.
I don't invite people to my house unless you are in the inner circle.
Oh, I do.
I'm very
not anymore,
very private.
Not anymore, but like back in the day, God, they had some parties.
So when would you say like the let's all meet up at Graham's stopped? Was it before COVID, after COVID?
No, because I had parties in Liverpool when I lived there, and then I travelled. But then I was on the island, and I had loads of parties on the island, which was awesome. We had secret island parties with people over in panga boats, like 50 people over to the island. We'll have a big rave in the middle of that. It was brilliant. Yeah, just had to be there. And then, I came back to Liverpool. I'm now in Durham. I'm a suburban stepdad, and it's not really the place for house parties, banging house parties, because there's kids in the house. Do you know what I mean?
There we go.
Never stopped our parents, though, I don't think. They had banging house parties in the 80s. They didn't care. You had to sleep behind the couch. Remember that?
Mikey's just a regular. You're going to have to help. Who's Ingwe Freyer over here? Like, who is Ingwe Freyer? Do you know who that is?
No?
I don't know.
Don't know.
One Angry Pagan's in the chat, and he's telling me names, but he always says the names and all the words in Old English, so I have to I think that means... I appreciate the education every time.
Yeah. I'm just having to look at a language that you don't really understand, but it's kind of close to it, but not quite. Paul Ewan says, let's reopen Alcatraz where the Birdman and the Rock, everyone and their aunt knows how to escape. Indeed. Sharon Douglas has been a member for 3 months. Good evening. Good evening, Sharon. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Right, Mikey. So,
welcome to the Rock.
Sundowning again.
Yeah, I told you guys. I keep telling you guys. He's gone. He is on complete mental cruise control. He is gliding in for a bumpy landing. He has
so the word on the street is last night the movie The Rock from the 90s with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery Sean Connery. It's got one of my favorite quotes, which is losers always whine about doing their best. The winners go home and fuck the prom queen. That's my best. It's my best Sean Connery accent.
Unfortunately for the memory of Sean Connery, my first thought, like my first real taking of it, was Will Ferrell on SNL. Like that is the first thing my brain goes, and then it's Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And then James Bond and everything else, but it is in that order, so it's cool. Will Ferrell's dad.
He made his own bookcase and it fell on him once, and he said, "I can only blame my shelf." Anyway,
he was a Scot, right?
So anyway, so yes, he was Scottish. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So last night, Trump was sitting in his gold gilded cage, and he
on the toilet with a tablet,
pooping. And he was watching FX. Not the movie FX, Murder by Illusion, but the channel in America, FX.
Yeah.
Which I think is Fox, isn't it?
No.
Fox without the O? Is it different thing entirely?
They had a lot of sci-fi cool shit for a while. They would run X-Files.
Yeah, but wasn't it Fox? It was a Fox subsidiary. That's how it started off.
Is it?
Because X-Files was definitely Fox. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Just correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Anyway, so he's watching Fox, and there's The Rock, 1994. I think.
No.
And he decides to reopen Alcatraz and to tax any films that are not made in America at 100% tariff somehow.
Guess who does own FX?
Don't know.
You know.
Tell me.
One good guess.
Murdoch.
Disney.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course they do, because they own Fox. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
They bought Fox, didn't they? Yeah. They bought Fox. And they changed it to 20th Studios because they wanted to get away from... They changed it to Century Studios because they wanted to take the Fox out of the name because it becomes so tarnished by Fox Faux News, the Faux News channel. So yeah, now how's this going to work, Mike? He just walked me through this whole process of taking this famous American tourist attraction, it was closed in 1963, and turning it into an actual working prison again.
Did we run out of prisons?
No.
Oh,
there's about a third redundancy in American prisons at the moment. There's loads of empty cells.
Hey, this is efficient. This is the way forward. This is America first. This is none of that. This is an old, crazy man. He's old and crazy. He doesn't know what's going on. We kept saying for years that he's influenced by the last person in the room. Apparently, he's also influenced by fucking TiVo. We have to either get him on, and now he's going to ban Sesame Street. I was like, maybe we can just like pump Sesame Street.
Elmo cry.
Maybe we could pump Sesame Street into the White House. Like that's on every channel, so he can get some like comprehension, maybe get some Schoolhouse Rock in there so he can understand how the government works, because apparently he doesn't, but he does know how to use his remote control. So, I mean, that's what we're going to have to do. Or like, remember the diabetes cowboy or the catheter cowboy thing where they, I think it was John Oliver and like the HBO crew, they deliberately bought ads for the time slot that they knew Trump would be watching TV, and they dressed up this cowboy, like an actor, like a cowboy, and he was talking about, oh, when I use my catheter, because it's all medical equipment ads during that time, because there's nothing but pensioners that are watching TV at the time. Maybe that's what we have to do. Maybe we have to just like, hi, my name's Buckaroo Graham, and I sure am a cowboy, and also this is how tariffs work.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to sneak knowledge into his head, because apparently, if left up to his own devices, I mean, what if he watches like, I don't know, what I think this is on FX lot, that fucking the Nicolas Cage Constitution secret. What is that? National
Treasure.
Don't let him see that shit. Maybe he already watched it. That's why he put it in his office, so Nicolas Cage can't get it.
Code written on the back of the Constitution.
I never actually finished that movie. I turned it off. Nicolas Cage is such a chore to watch. He's
good in Raising Arizona. He's good in... He's all right in Long Legs. He's not in it very much. He's good in Leaving Las Vegas with Elizabeth Shue, 1995.
Yeah.
I think the guy who wrote that drank himself to death because it's about a writer who goes to Hollywood to drink himself to death. A nice cheery movie. But here's my worry, Mikey. But first of all, I'm going to say a big thank you to Asperger's Europe for the first super chat of the evening. Boom, boom, boom. Today is all the fives. It's the 5th, 25. That works in American and in English. 5 squared is 25, and today is the 125th day of the year. So 5 cubed. Look at that. That's brilliant. That's good knowledge, that. I like that. So here's a £5 first super chat. Yeah. I really like that. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It is also, I mean, May the 4th be with you was yesterday. Today is Revenge of the 5th.
Very good. I like it. Did you watch me going to the, did you see the video of me going to the thing? The premiere of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You didn't watch my video? Oh, mate. You could have watched my video.
I have a kid.
I know, but it's only like 10 minutes or something. I watched your video.
I didn't know when it was. Did it just come out?
Yeah, I put it up the other day. It was like 20 years ago, but I finally got around to editing it, and I put it up.
It's not like you put out 14 videos a week. You know, I don't know how I missed it.
But yeah, it was on a different channel. It wasn't on this channel. It's on a
different
channel.
How the hell was I supposed to know? Graham.
I don't know. I put it in the politics social chat. I did.
You have 700. You guys have 700 messages a day in that chat. I check it only for the link.
Oh, come on. But it's funny though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I can't read. I don't know what 30% of it. I know what 30% of it is. All the rest of it is local British shit, and I'm just like, I have no idea what it is. It is foreign language to me. I know none of the proper nouns in these sentences.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so Paul Ewan, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Paint it gold, call it Trump's castle, he'll move in. He will. He probably will. Why didn't the first super chat come off the goal? I don't know, Diz. I don't know. But never mind. If we only get up to 9, then I'll still get it. They go through. Oh, there you go. There's Alistair Kane with the £1 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Getting us ticked up. I keep telling them, Mikey, I say to them, put 50p in the idiot, and I'll keep talking all night. As I did the other night when we were doing the Canadian election. I feel a bit bad because we had the Canadian election, then we had the British local elections, and then on Saturday we had the Australian elections,
Aussie.
and I should have done them. I'm a bit disappointed with myself because it would have been like a bit of a joyous occasion because the Tories over there got their arse whipped, and the leader of their version of the Tory party, the coalition, they lost their seat, just like Peter Polly Pocket.
It's a Canadian connection. Who knew that even though they are 4,000 miles apart, separated by the Pacific,
Canada's just cold Australia, isn't it?
I mean, if you take all the poison and just transform it into giant beasts, they're literally the same thing.
There's the two lines that John Oliver said about Canada. One of them is it's just 5 ice hockey rinks surrounded by polar bears, and the other thing he said was Canada, the country that answered the question, what if America and Britain had a baby and abandoned it in the snow?
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Ollie. Ollie's watching this like, how dare you? I will bring all the power of Prince Edward Island down upon you. Alistair, he's been a member for 7 months. Very, very, very good of you, sir. Thank you very much for hanging out with us for that long. Thank you, sir. You are the best. You're the best. You're the best. So, yeah.
Billy's making fun of Tim over here. Instead of Vic Striker, call him, Strict Viper in the chat. Air horn.
Love it. Listen, so, I mean, this is the thing. This has just happened today. A week is a long time in politics. It's even longer when Trump is involved in politics. So earlier this week, he decided, or last week, I guess now, he decided to put a picture of himself as the Pope. Just after the Pope died and they're trying to choose a new Pope, he put a picture of himself as the Pope.
He wants some votes.
One sensible, pertinent question here. What would the reaction have been if Obama did that?
I think they should say yes. I think that solves one of America's problems. Bye. Have fun in the Vatican.
No, but he'll want to be Pope and
dog. No. We'll be like, you didn't clock in. Sorry, we're gonna have to fire you.
He'll be the first Pope to have raw dogged a porn star behind his wife's back while she was pregnant with his first child.
How on earth would you even know that?
Oh, sorry, her first child. It wasn't his. Because he's had loads of kids with different women.
Again,
because he's a slut.
Again, you do have no idea what them popes have been up to. They all could have done that.
That's true. That's true.
They're in a veil of secrecy.
The Borgias were a bunch of dirty bastards.
They could have all been doing that.
John Oliver also described Mexico as spicy Canada.
All right. See, y'all got that ocean over there protecting y'all. I have no jokes for my neighbors to the north and the south. I love y'all. Please let me in. Please.
Anyway, so he's also declared war on Harvard. Harvard's telling him to fuck off, which is nice. He's talking about expanding Guantanamo. He's arrested a couple of judges, hasn't he? I think that was 2 weeks ago now. Bloody hell, time moves fast.
So hold on.
The economy is going tits up, and you're 40? How many days are you in? You're about a third of the way through his 90-day pause on his tariffs.
So do you know why they stopped using Guantanamo Bay after the first little thing where they sent Kirsty Noem down there, Thirsty Noem to go take pictures?
There's only like 2 cells. It's tiny.
No, they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and wasted a lot of the military's time and effort. They sent troops from all over, flew them to Cuba, flew them to this air base or this military base, and had them constructing tents. Like making tent cities on the base so that all these people could be there, realized it was going to be really expensive and it would be just better to just do it in the States. And then they just bailed on the whole thing. Like they literally tried it, saw that it was such a waste of money. And then they just never probably told Trump that it was a big waste of time and money. Like it was like $200,000 per person. Like they had a division of troops out there just with shovels and hammers to like put in the stakes, and they were like putting up the temporary housing and all that stuff. It was a huge waste of time and money. And I wants to do the same thing on Alcatraz and everywhere. All right, this is supposed to be efficient though.
Yeah,
doesn't feel too efficient though. Just wasting money.
So what else has been? This has been. I can't believe this has only been a week. What's JD Vance been? What shitty things has he been up to this week? Has he been like keeping a low profile after the sacking of? Before we get to
JD, did you hear that he wants to change the name of Veterans Day?
Oh God, Heroes Day.
Yeah, Heroes of World War I Day.
It was that's bizarrely specific. I thought veterans were for all wars, like any war veteran.
And then he's going to use, I forget what I lost it. But then he had another day. I think it was the 8th. I don't know. But then he had a separate day that he wanted to do for World War II, like the heroes of World War II. So instead of just having Veterans Day, he wants to split it all up because he wants to have, and also he wants to have a military parade in Washington, D.C. for his birthday. Like all normal presidents who are totally not sundowning creepazoids.
And they're not kings?
I don't understand. And this is at the same time he is cutting SNAP. He's cutting the Department of Education. All of our health services are now in jeopardy. But he wants to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to have a parade for his birthday.
Yeah.
Priorities. Efficiency. That is the new way. Efficiency is key. Did you hear Elon got his own city down in Texas?
Yes. Well, not city, it's a town. I wouldn't call it a city just yet. It's getting there. But the people who live there, it's going to be like the Stepford Wives, isn't it?
It's all of his workers. It's all
Village
workers.
of the Damned.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like it's true believers. Like it's a proper fucking cult.
Okay.
Good job. No one who'd set up like a cult in a compound in Texas ever got up to naughty stuff.
But that happened back in the 80s when those people didn't have a lot of like access to information, all that stuff. I do not understand what is wrong with old rich white dudes who just never think anyone will betray them ever. Hey, dude, if you want to lock yourself in a fucking town with a bunch of crazy folks, go for it. I'll just sit back here and wait for the smoke to start coming out from over the hill. Because these people that Trump and Musk are gathering around them to be their sycophants are psychotic. They are crazy. They are dangerous and, best of all, lazy. So they will not be your soldiers. They will look to say, yes, we should have soldiers. I'm like, you pick this gun up and go to it. He's like, yes, we should hand this gun to somebody to do what you need. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to waste a lot of money and time. I mean, this is all delaying the inevitable that Trump and Musk, when the humans take over America again, they're going to jail. That's what this is. They're trying to set up their own little place.
But the ultimate irony would be if they spend all this money and all this time and effort the next 4 years setting up Alcatraz to be a prison again, and then Trump gets thrown in it.
Oh,
that'd be poetic justice.
We have a... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go on. Do you have a super chat?
Yeah. Alistair Kerr did a gift membership. So, Landon, congratulations. You're the proud new owner of it.
Oh, wow.
He's a bin cider.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Alistair. Alistair's very generous.
Head on the politics social and we like the same.
We like Scotland around here. We're big.
I love Scotland.
Scottish aficionados.
It's pretty.
It's gorgeous, and the people are lovely. And
the people smell good.
Yeah, they do. They do. The people smell so good. So, like Alcatraz, right? So this was a military fort built in the 1800s, and then it was used as a military prison, I think, in like Civil War, and then it was just, I don't know, a barracks or something. But then in the 1930s, they turned it into a federal jail. It was only a federal jail for less than 30 years, so it wasn't very long as a federal jail. But when it was there, it had Al Capone as a famous resident, also George Machine Gun Kelly, as well as Robert Stroud, who was known as the Birdman of Alcatraz. as well as the couple of guys who allegedly escaped in 1962, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. There's been 14 separate escape attempts, 36 men tried, nearly all were caught, shot, or presumed drowned. You see, that's the thing.
Presumed
drowned.
Yeah.
The 1962 escape via a raft made of raincoats inspired the Clint Eastwood film Escape from Alcatraz, 1969. The bodies were never found. It's because fish eat bodies, you see. You don't normally find bodies. That's why if you ever want to assassinate someone, don't do it, because it's very naughty. But also, if you are going to do it, don't do it. But if you are going to do it, don't just shoot them. Just take them out on the yacht and push them off. No witnesses. No evidence.
What if Aquaman testifies?
Nope. Then you're in trouble.
This
Who's going
stingray.
to testify, Mikey? Aquaman!
This stingray told me that he saw that boat push that person off the side. The stingray has priors and did not want to pick up a charge that didn't belong to them. So,
no, anything you throw in the water is tasty food for the sharks. Alistair, thank you so much for gifting a Politics Social membership to Alex, who is now a member of the channel. Welcome, new member of
You're the
the
best,
channel. You're the best. You're the bestest in the worldest.
all right.
I don't know where my welcome animation's gone. Anyway, so yeah, Trump has watched this movie, and even though Alcatraz shut down in 1963 due to high operating costs, Mikey, 3 times more
You have
expensive
to
than other
ship in
prisons,
everything.
and deteriorating infrastructure, saltwater erosion, plumbing failures, and heating breakdowns all the time. Everything had to be shipped in: food, water, fuel, staff. Now it's a
Everything.
historic landmark. It's part of the U.S. National Park Service, who he's declared war on already, that lot. It has 1.7 million tourists annually, so it pays for itself. And it's now just a bizarre backdrop for what? Trumpian fucking authoritarian cosplay? And to reopen it, it means kicking out the park service, rebuilding a crumbling 60-year-old ruin. Yeah, this is like making Conway Castle a castle again or something. It's just that mad. It's like, why would you?
He's like, you know what? Some of these old forts that have the cannons in them, we need to refit those cannons. Who
Yes.
knows if the Spanish Armada is going to come back? Like, what are you talking about? What do
It
you
also means
talking-
fighting California in court. It's possible. It possibly means violating the conservation law, kicking out the park service, and ferrying, like as you said, you got to ferry all the staff over by
Every
boat
day.
every day.
every day.
When the
All
prison
the
system in
food.
America is already falling apart.
It's got no fresh water. They never got the fresh water working, so that had to be brought in. Like, this is it. There's a reason why we stopped using it. It doesn't. And that's the thing about most issues. Even if they're racist, when things start to cost too much money, people see the light. They just magically just get this moral high ground, and they just feel like, you know what? Enough doing that. AKA, this is costing me way too much money, and I'm sick of paying for it. And you can only keep so many people in there. So, I mean, it would be really bad if, like, Gavin Newsom had, like, some sort of state ordinance or San Francisco had an ordinance saying, oh, yeah, anything going to the prison has a tariff on it of, like, there was a state tax of, like, 300%. Which they could 100% do. They could totally go right now to their General Assembly and write up something that's saying anything going to Alcatraz must pay a convenience fee to California, for maintaining it this whole time. But they're gonna need to, like, recoup some of the money that they spent preserving this place now that you want it. So we're just gonna charge you.
Yeah.
And just get rich off of you while you try to waste money.
Indeed. By the way, I've got a message from Chris C saying Mythbusters proved that it was possible for 3 escapees to have gotten to shore.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. Anne Phillips is asking if Papillon with Steve McQueen was about a real life escape from Alcatraz. No, it was from Devil's Island off the coast of French Guiana. Although there was a movie called Murder in the First, and that was about a guy who was sentenced to solitary confinement in Alcatraz for a crime he did not commit. So yeah. Should we talk about Seacop for a little bit? This is the new Disney attraction to go with Epcot. Only it's a terrifying mega jail in El Salvador that houses 40,000 inmates. Mikey.
I don't know about the libel, and I'm not fucking with the mouse saying that the mouse is responsible, or Universal Studios. I'm not saying that that's their thing. What the hell?
No, this is a Centro de Confinamiento del Terrorismo,
Yes.
or CCOT. And this is Bukaki's government, Nayib Bukaki, who is the leader of El Salvador, and they built it in 2023, and it's to house ostensibly all of the criminals that they want to just do away with in El Salvador. Now, to be fair to Bukaki, he is a dictator, but he did inherit a country that had the highest murder rate in the world, even higher than Washington D.C. Mikey, I know. I didn't think that was possible, but it is. And in response to that, he clamped down on the gangs like a crazy bastard. He took the idea that it's better that loads of innocent people go to jail than for one guilty person to go free, which is the wrong way around with that, but that's the way he's done it. The prison was announced in the midst of a suspension of constitutional rights, during which over nearly 80,000 people were arrested. And Bukaki's message has been, this is hell for criminals. This is the whole point of it. It's isolated, no contact with the outside world. Prisoners sleep on bare concrete or on metal mattresses, metal beds that have no mattresses, minimal food. There's they have mass cells with between 100 and 200 people sleeping in there. You get your head shaved on the way in. And inmates are forced to kneel for hours, arms behind their heads. Torture's been alleged. They're barefoot, shirtless, and tattooed. And the footage of mass transfers is used for like state propaganda and shit. It's hell on earth. It's a concentration camp. It's a death camp. You get pictures of the Nazi concentration camps and you put them side by side with pictures from CCAR, and it looks disturbingly similar. Here's the thing, right?
Where's the UN?
It looks like, the UN has a fatal flaw, which is it has a Security Council that has a veto over anything the UN wants to do. And who is the members of the Security Council? Okay,
Israel, the United States.
No, not Israel, not Israel. But Britain and France, they're the sensible ones. So when they're the sensible ones in a gang, you got to worry. Then you got the US, who are not going to do anything to stop any kind of thing that stops capitalism from being capitalist or whatever. You got China, which is not going to do anything to further the cause of democracy anytime soon. And you've got Russia, that's not going to do anything to further the cause of not being a corrupt, horrible petrostate that throws people out of windows when they disagree with El Presidente. So, yeah. Bit of a damp squib, the old United Nations.
Good thing we got the United States or the United Nations and NATO to help, police the world. Like, this is kind of like a blister that has finally rubbed our feet in a way that isn't tolerable anymore. Like, yes. Your shoes were bad and you knew you needed to replace the shoes, and now you have this horrible blister on your foot. Having America being the world's police was a mistake. And to let it sit like that for 20 years was an even bigger mistake. Because now that we do have
the UN.
Yeah, because now that we do have all of these problems popping up all over, like Africa needs NATO bad. You know what I'm saying? Central America needs NATO bad. Hong Kong and Taiwan could have used some NATO help, but it has been gutted. There's no one there. There's no intimidating people in that force now to scare away people who would do crimes against, entire populations of people. It's just allowed to run rampant because now that America is run by an idiot, who's gonna be the world police?
Yeah,
who's going to show up and help?
But here's the thing, Mikey. I was building this up, talking about what's going on in the way this super prison is set up. Now, they've already sent over a bunch of people who are not American citizens, but Trump is clearly, and he was caught on a hot mic saying this, he is clearly wanting to send what he calls homegrowns over there. That means you, mate. That means U.S. citizens to be sent over to this. What can we call it? Gulag.
Mm-hmm. And for the Abrego Garcia case, the Republicans online and on Fox News and all that stuff are like, I can't believe you guys care about this MS-13 gang lord. Why do you guys care about him? It's like, because you didn't give him due process. So even though Trump is 80-20 in the polls when it comes to how he's dealing with immigration, the Abrego Garcia case, it's 40-60. His base does not like this. If he is as bad as
when you say 40-60, what do you mean the cut on that?
40% approve, 60% disapprove.
Oh, right, okay.
So he's upside down on that one. They do not like this. If he's as guilty as you say he is, it should be really easy to prove that he's guilty.
Yeah.
But by bypassing that step, at first they were like, of course we trust him. Of course we trust him. And then more and more. And then the lawyer comes out. And then that senator goes down there, or House rep goes down there to actually go visit and see with him. And then they see like the bullshit pictures that they tried to, like push around. They think they're doing the right thing, his people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think they're the good guys. They think they're on the right side of things. Granted, they have blinders on. That was right in front of them. As much as they tried to hide it, that was right in front of them, that this is clearly not the right fucking guy. Like, they got the wrong guy. And then the White House said, sorry, we got the wrong guy. He was sent there by an administrative error. So they're like, oh, right, it was an error. So you're going to get him back. And it's like, well, there's no way I can get him back unless homeboy over here gives him back to me. He's like, how can I smuggle a terrorist into America? Like, they saw that as, am I dumb or stupid? Like, he just said, give him back. The Supreme Court said, give him back.
Yep.
And he's not listening.
Yeah.
So he assumes that this promise of eternal wealth that he's going to give everybody, because, groceries, no one talks about groceries. Where's the grocery money? Where's the freedom? Where's everything he's promising is now at the point where it's lost all upward velocity and it is stalling. Everything he's talking about is stalling. And if you're stalling and you start bringing up bullshit like Alcatraz, and then you start, just these really weird, or I want a military parade on my birthday, like all this weird shit, you don't get the leeway anymore. Yeah. So the more he, and I think it was last weekend or this weekend, the last of the tariff-free ships from China have arrived, which means everything else going forward is going to cost a lot. That's why he got mad at Bezos and Amazon, because they were going to put the right underneath the price of the item, they were going to put this much of the price was from tariffs. He got on that phone screaming, and Jeff caved in and said, "Oh, that was for our fleet people. We were letting the truck drivers know. That's why we accidentally coded it for the consumer side. That we coded it for the wrong one. Oh my God, that must have taken like 100 hours to do. We did it on accident on the wrong one. Like, come on now." If you know anything about apps or computers, no one just accidentally adds code to the wrong portal, to the wrong app.
We had a couple of super chats come in. We had Alice Derm has just dropped another pound in. Thank you very much for the pounds, Alice Derm. It's very kind of you. And also Andy Thompson has dropped a £5 super chat in to say, Space 1999, Jerry Anderson's TV show. Tell Trump England sent criminals to the moon in the late 90s and the moon in deep space, and no more Mexicans came to England.
And the moon people are going to pay for it.
Yeah, the moon people are going to. Where's your wall? Where's your wall, Trump? Where's his wall? That's what I want to know. Why does no one ever ask him where his fucking wall is? Where's your fucking wall, Trump?
He and Congress kept asking for money. He's like, I would have a wall if you would give me funding. It's like, you said they were going to pay for it. What are you talking about? What do we do? Why are you asking for funding? You said you had this taken care of. And then, Steve Bannon accidentally went to jail for stealing $50 million from dumbasses who thought that they could PayPal into the federal government to help pay for a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. And he went to jail for that. He went to fucking jail. He went to Alcatraz. He didn't go to Alcatraz. So I saw a little meme today, which was Marie Antoinette saying, "Let them have $2." This was reference to something that Trump said, because he's a mad bastard. He said, You know, you can't buy $30 for your kids anymore. Who buys $30 for their kids? Like, what? You can't buy $30. You're just gonna buy $2 now.
I don't buy 30.
He's made America great again, mate. Because now instead of buying $30, you can buy $2 for the same price.
No, you'll pay a couple dollars extra. Don't you see, Graham? That's the real victory. I want less choice, more price. That's what I want.
Less choice, more price. It'll make America great again. Somehow. I don't know how.
I can't.
But...
I've been a little under the weather, and I've been trying to work on my mental health a little bit, so I don't argue on Facebook like I used to. But man, it is funny getting people to admit that they're going to pay these tariffs. Because they were all saying before the election that there's no way China's paying them. You're lying. You're just saying shit. You libtard, da-da-da-da-da. And here come the insults. I'm like, all right, bet. Would you like to put any money down that China's not paying any of this at all? Never will. Yeah. There's not even a mechanism for them to pay this. We don't even have anybody like to take their debit card if they had one. It's not even set up that way.
We've got some great comments coming in. Trump has two doll hands, says David Peacock. You're not wrong, mate. You've also got Captain saying the clangers will pay for the moon prison. And Trump is... Chris is trying to work out who Trump is emulating. Stalin, Hitler, Pol Pot, or Saddam. A little bit of each, I think. You know, like a little bit of Monica on this side. That's him. We should do a song. We should do Mambo number 5. Mango,
oh
Mussolini Mango number 5, and it's
Mussolini Mango number 5.
It just lists like all the people he's trying to emulate, all the killers of the 20th century. That he's like, yeah, I want to be like this fucking nutter whose grave stinks of ammonium.
Remember when he couldn't get over Hannibal Lecter, the late great Hannibal.
When he dies, when Trump carks it, right? What I want them to do is Haile Selassie, the leader of Ethiopia until his ignominious death in the 1970s. He, the Rastafarians, his name was Rastafar. They celebrate Haile Selassie, and he was overthrown in a coup, and they buried his body under the toilet in the presidential building.
That's rude.
I know. He probably didn't deserve that, but Trump, under a golden toilet that everyone's encouraged to use. Trans women are encouraged to use this toilet. That has the bones of Trump. What do you reckon? Golden toilet?
I'm trying to think of the best way I think that his body could get disposed of, but I just can't think of anything I could say
buried under
on
the toilet.
Stream. I just can't find anything appropriate to say.
That's what happened to Haile Selassie. That's all I'm saying.
But it's so much worse than that. I can't think of any way to say it.
We can't say it on the stream. Alistair, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Mikey, just let to know, China container ships have stopped in Spain, Portugal, and are holding their rumors are they're being redirected. So yeah, enjoy your empty shelves. Courtesy of Trump.
What do you have to say enjoy? No one's going to enjoy that. It's more like...
Yeah, the Trump people will.
There's not a lot of them. Okay.
Freedom. There's 77 million of them, Mikey.
Out of 300 plus million. So they are not the main ones who are going to get hurt by this. It's everyone else.
People that live in Britain.
It's everyone else that's going to be punished with something that they did not vote for. That is the key. Fuck the Trumpers.
Well, there were certain people
they've already decided to push the fucking mine cart off the cliff. They don't care what happens to us. I care about the people who are actually, trying to keep everything running for what they can.
I will let off the 70 million or so who voted for Kamala Harris. Everyone else can fuck off.
Yeah, everyone children and old people. Fuck you.
Yeah, children and old people. No, old people can still vote.
But maybe...
In fact, old people vote more than young people do. Maybe if some more young people voted, Mikey, this wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't be in this mess. But enjoy.
We did.
Your empty shelves.
We did. After polling, or what is it? The exit polling, we did. It was white women. That's
white women
and white men. That's who put him in office. So, I mean, if we want to break it down. They're like, oh, Trump got double what he got last time. I was like, yeah, he got like 7% of the black vote for talking about the black vote. And he's crushing it with the LGBT. He's like, yeah, LGBT. Yeah, he went from having 5 votes to 11 votes. 200+% increase. It's like, yeah, okay, dude. You know, and those people are good luck. You'll figure out before I do that all of this has been a lie and that this has been a grift from the beginning. This has been a looting from the beginning.
Yeah.
Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Well,
He's doing nothing that he promised.
The issue is the same people who funded Trump to become the president of the United States are also funding Refuck over here, the Reform UK Party, which is the tapeworm that is Nigel Farage's new host body. He used to be the leader of the Brexit Party. Before then, he was leader of UKIP. Before then, he was a Tory. Before then, he was a Green. He supported the Greens, strangely enough. Back in the past, he also supported the divestiture out of Europe party back in the day. He supported a lot of different parties through his parliamentary career, but currently is a lot of just one load of local elections, Mikey, and they're bringing Trump-style bollocks over here. The first thing they said they're going to do in Durham is get rid of that pesky pedestrian crossing that's painted like the trans flag.
Money well spent. See, this is the problem. They're selling hatred.
Here's the thing, Mikey. The trans flag isn't in Durham. It's in London.
As opposed to policy. And yeah, of course they're stupid and they got the wrong city. But that's the thing. Like, they're selling hatred. And they're like, come on, we can get rid of all the people that piss us off. Don't you want to do that? And some people are stupid, like, yeah, but that's not the revenge department. That's to make sure that the government functions department. Yeah. You don't want to mix those up. Like, if you want to have your little hate groups or whatever, and you want to just shit on people, again, the KKK has been recognized by the American government for decades, probably over 100 years at this point. We know who they are. They know who they are. They're allowed to be here. Fine. But has the KKK ever won a gubernatorial race? You know what I mean? Maybe they can get the mayor of like a small town or something like that, get one of their people in. But by and large, their policies are so reprehensible, like just so disgusting. And so like the bigotry doesn't translate. But if you can do the dog whistle bigotry and tell people, hey, if you just want to say the R word again, or if you want to, say the P word again,
If you went to a party at Mar-a-Lago and took a wrong turn and you found a closet and there was clan robes in the closet, would you be surprised for 1 second?
I'd have to push past all of our national secrets that he's got in a fucking box.
Yeah, in the toilet. Yeah, you had to move them aside so you go for a piss.
Well,
and then once you
Graham, they were on a stage, but then like the roof leaked, so then they had to move them to the toilet. You see. That was his excuse. That was his excuse that we had
selling them to America's enemies and killing Americans.
Selling? These are gifts, my friend. As long as you give us, where's his money? He doesn't have any fucking money if he's selling shit. He's so stupid that he is doing this shit so he can get in with people. He's not even profiting from it. He's not even profiting.
Come on, he's profiting massively from his fucking Bitcoin and his fucking
exactly. So he'll never take money from those people. But I mean, let's check the guest book, shall we? How many times did the Argentinian president go up there? And then all of a sudden there's a Trump coin and a Melania coin and a Barron coin and a Tiffany coin. Don Jr. didn't get a coin. Nobody likes him.
Chrissy is we could send Trump down to the Titanic to have a look at it.
Person here says
Titanic.
Person here says that Mikey's got a hatred cells like chilled water in a desert town. I'm telling you, and that's what I keep saying this, and I really need all of my white allies to get this under your skin and get uncomfortable about it. You have to fight bigotry amongst your own community.
Yep.
It is not going away. Just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean that it's not a problem. As you can see, when you live your life with your North Star being bigotry, it's bad for everybody. It's bad for business. It wastes a lot of time. It's disruptive. It doesn't work. So there's only so much I can say to be like, people should be more inclusive, or people should be less discriminatory or prejudiced and all that stuff. There's only so much I can say. Black people are 13% of the population in America. Why the fuck do we have to keep reminding everybody not to be racist? I thought you knew that already. And it's probably the same equivalent numbers over in the UK. Like, we're tired of having to explain to white people 24/7 that you need to be civil, that you need to like find where your racists are and shut them down.
Yep.
Like, we shouldn't have to do it just because it's affecting us. Muslim people, Jewish people, all these
trans people.
What is
it shouldn't have to be their fight. It should be the fight of the cis people.
It's everybody's
telling other
fight.
Cis people to stop being fucking knobheads.
Yeah. Because they were always like during 9/11 and the war on terror, they're like, where are the moderate Muslims? Where are the moderate cis people? Yeah. Where are the moderate whites? Where are the moderate college educated? Like, where are you guys? Because you're fucking sleeping on the fucking job at this point. Get the fuck up and get a hold of your peeps. They are wiling the fuck out right now. And you're just like, well, I can't believe that they're just doing this to all the Hispanic people. Well, then you should be fucking furious. And you're not. And that tells us things about you if you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Right, thank you for that. Right, I've got to quickly say thank you to Danny Dude Lido. Thank you very much, Danny, for the new members that we have now, because he has gifted 5 Politics Social gift memberships to Colin Lunt, who's now a member, Paul Spectrum. We've got David Stottard, Sean, and David Coombs, who are all now members of the channel. Welcome. You are awesome. Well, welcome.
You did it.
You did it. Look at me.
And we're
awesome.
proud.
Look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Anyway, so we got UN Medsi, create unified nationalistic twats hats for reform supporters. Yeah, that works. Unfortunately, most people don't give a crap unless it affects them, says Joanna. Yeah, and that is the problem, making people make the leap. And the reason why Trump goes after the arts, goes after the Smithsonian, goes after the Lincoln Center, goes after the fucking the film industry in America, is because he doesn't want people to have empathy. Because the arts creates empathy. It is an empathy creation machine in which you get to live, you get to see the world through the eyes of somebody else, whether it's through a book or through a movie or through a podcast, doesn't matter. You get to see someone else's point of view and understand where they're coming from. And he fucking hates that.
Well, he doesn't want anyone to have The Rock was a good movie, clearly, because he's making policy about it. He likes that movie. But anything that would a hero conquers a villain, and the villain, I don't know, is like a political figure. You can't have that. You can't have the people knowing about that kind of stuff. You can't have them believing in themselves. You can't have them knowing, you can't have what if A Few Good Men came out this year? Oh, no, you can't deny, no, they told me to deport that person. They told me to give the code red. It's analogous. That movie would never come out now. Trump wouldn't have it.
The reason for the baddie's baddiness in The Rock is justified. His team were on special operations, and then they got back and they got nothing. The government denied their existence, and so they were living hand to mouth. And I can understand why he wanted to do that. And he wasn't a bad guy. Like at the end, sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen The Rock, but he's like, no, this is just a bluff. This is all just a bluff. You don't actually mean that we want to kill loads of people. And then his little fucking lieutenant goes, no, I really want to kill loads of people. But yeah, I like that. I like it when you've got a baddie, but they've got you understand why they're doing what they're doing, and you kind of you find yourself,
Killmonger had everybody like,
fantastic point. Why have they got all this technology and they're letting the rest of Africa
just be ravaged? Shit? Yeah, that's wrong. Killmonger was right. He did it wrong, but he was fucking right.
Yeah. But so I want to ask a couple of questions.
The man.
Have you seen Sinners?
I think I'm just gonna wait for it to come out. I don't want to go to a theater.
No, go, mate.
No,
go.
dog, I can't. Go. Dude, I have for real anxiety issues with going to theaters now. I just can't. I'm like, where's the door? How quick can I get to the door? Is there any cover in here? Like, especially when like things like debut. Like, I straight up had a panic attack at Doctor Strange, the last Doctor Strange movie. Totally irrational. Couldn't stop it. Couldn't turn it off. I was like, oh, I'm going for a ride. Here we go. Like, I just can't do it.
It's not totally irrational, mate. It's not totally
That's
irrational.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. Like, my brain's like, statistically, it could happen. Andrew at a movie premiere, which
it's statistically improbable, but it's not impossible, and that's why, that's where the anxiety comes from.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. Well, honestly, mate, the sooner you can watch it, the better. It's fucking brilliant. It's
I
really,
love all of Ryan
recommend it.
Coogler stuff.
Yeah.
I don't usually go for horror, but he got me. He gets me into watching that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he directed Creed, didn't he? And the big showdown at the end of Creed was at Goodison, which is Everton's.
I'm not gonna watch a Rocky
stadium.
movie.
Well, yeah, because Sylvester Stallone has joined Team Trump. John Voight.
He's not really there anymore.
Not Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he's not making any sense.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
But this is the thing. These are the dudes from the 80s and the 90s. Assuming that they're assuming it's still the 80s and the 90s. They still think they're the man. They still think they're 40 or 60 and they can just power around and do all this stuff. They all sound crazy. And it's not that we just got like woke or whatever it is. It's, bro, the human body only lasts so long. That's why they tell you to retire and go off and start fly fishing or building something in the garage. Like, you're supposed to do something different. The high pace, high stress of being in the public eye, especially in this decade, is intense. It is crazy. Like, we are small guys in the whole scheme of things. We're not in front of millions, possibly billions of people every day. There is no way that guy has any juice left to fucking handle himself in front of people. He just doesn't have it. He's fucking, no, it says MS-13. I saw it. It says MS-1.
Can we talk about that for a moment?
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
If you haven't seen the interview, it is the most cringeworthy 90 seconds of your entire life, in which Donald Trump tries to explain to a reporter from ABC that this guy who they have wrongly put in the prison in El Salvador has MS-13, the letters and the numbers written on his knuckles, because he'd seen a picture of his knuckles labeled by someone obviously just typing them
in Microsoft Paint,
Helvetica, Arial.
MS-13.
Oh, mate.
Like he's not there. Y'all have this. They talked about Biden being like the Weekend at Bernie's. This is just a Weekend at Bernie's with like a little pull string in the back, like Woody from Toy Story. Like, he says shit and he'll talk and lie and do. He has no idea what's going on. He's doing all this Alcatraz shit. There's no fucking trade deal.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He started 15 different little campfires and 9 of them are out of control. And he's on his phone tweeting while the forest burns. Like, he just doesn't have the bandwidth to handle all of this. And the only thing stopping him is nothing, because Stephen Miller is in control at this point, who is like the most salacious crumb of white nationalists that there's ever been.
Yeah.
Arial bold 10-point font. Well played, person impersonator. Well played.
You're fucking bold. So, people are talking in the chat. People are mentioning 12 Angry Men. I don't know how that came into it, but what a movie. Sidney Lumet, one of the best directors in Hollywood. Him and Billy Wilder. I watch all of their movies. I don't care. They're just brilliant. He's the guy who did Dog Day Afternoon, Network. He did The Wiz for some reason. Serpico. That was him. The Hill with Sean Connery. So he did The Hill and he did The Rock. And The Hill had the tagline, "They went up as men, they came down like animals."
One angry pagan in the chat says, Mikey, can we talk about Trump war on science, the environment, and the administrative state? Yes. Science. We'll start with the science. I have never been so disappointed than to hear that PBS is losing their funding. They're going after all the NASA shit. Like they're just gonna pretty much they're just gonna give everything to fucking Tesla or to SpaceX. Yep. So Elon will have like our entire budget, which wasn't great in the first place. We had so many cool ideas coming up. Like I think we already have a mission that's been launched already, our Clipper mission to land on Europa to go ice fishing to see if we can find life in our fucking solar system. Well, it doesn't fucking matter if it fucking gets there and there's no one there to fucking, absorb the data. Like this is so stupid. And NASA runs on the smallest budget. Like they barely get any money. We were able to get to the moon because NASA was under the military, and we wanted to make sure that the Russians didn't put a base on the moon. Yep. It had nothing to do with like exploring it all, but we changed our entire economy. We have if you guys didn't know this, there is a small railroad that goes from Huntsville, Alabama to Houston. It's purposefully built just to take the assembled Saturn V down there. Like we changed the landscape of the country just to accommodate this goal. We were all in for space. Yeah. So the remnants of that are still trying to hold on and fight and discover the new mysteries, solve the new mysteries in the universe. And here comes this asshole. Never mind all the funding that they're cutting for the research for cancer treatments. And I think this is mostly stemmed out of Stephen Miller and Vaught's hatred that black women are the most educated demographic in this country right now.
Indeed.
Jealousy.
I'm quite upset about Europa if it doesn't go ahead, because Europa, if any fans of Arthur C. Clarke are watching this, you'll know that Europa is central to the plot of 2010, Odyssey 2. And basically, they reckon there's 3 billion cubic kilometers of water beneath an ice crust. So they've got like 100 miles of ice, and then they've got this ocean, which is 100 miles deep. And just to compare that with Earth's got 1.4 billion. So it's like more than twice the amount of ocean that the Earth has got. And we have life on this planet that live in the absolute darkness at the bottom of the oceans near volcanic vents, and they feed off the nutrients coming through the vents, and the heat from the vents gives them the energy they need to thrive. And if they exist on Earth, there's a very, very good chance of actual life existing on Europa today, which would be different from the life that we've found on Mars, which has just been dead shit and evidence that there was life there millions of years ago. But there ain't shit now because, solar radiation, mate. That's what happens when you don't have a liquid core.
I think there's a couple of theories out about like why Mars its core cooled before us. Because ours will cool eventually, but we're talking
it's
10
not half
times
the size of us.
Yeah, that's the issue is volume and surface area. So because it's half our size, that means that core didn't really do as much to begin with, so it will cool faster. I have a panspermia hypothesis that we're all Martians.
Ooh.
And something smashed into Mars, broke off a big chunk of it. We, as little microbes, were attached to it. It lands on the Earth, and life begins. So we're all Martians.
The big question is, where did all the water come from? On Earth?
Comets. Lots of comets.
How many comets would that have been? I mean, you just think about how much water there is on Earth.
But you got
1.4 billion square kilometers. But how many bloody comets?
But you got to keep in mind. Look at the moon. Yeah. The moon is covered with impact craters.
Yes. Especially on the other side.
Yeah.
The dark side.
But the surface of Earth is constantly reshaping itself.
Side.
Yes.
So it's a dark side that
The
far side of the moon.
We are tidally locked. But I mean, we have tectonic events. We have, volcanoes. We have subduction of tectonic plates. Our surface is constantly, hiding our pockmarks. we could have been completely smashed into by a bunch of comets.
Well, we were smashed into by another planet, apparently, weren't we? Thea smashed into us and broke off the moon, which was a bit of the old Earth. But yeah,
Maybe that's where most of our craters are, up in the moon
inside
now.
the Earth isn't quite circular. It's not quite spherical. It's all a bit blah, blah, blah. It's because back in the past we got smashed into when we were still kind of gloopy. But yeah, if we think about it, if you were a big hot gloopy ball of gloopy lava, right, that was slowly cooling down, there couldn't have been any water on it because the water would have evaporated into space. There would have been no atmosphere. So where did the water come from? And yeah, comets are the most likely suggestion, but I mean, it must have been so many of them. It's just mind-blowing to think.
I mean, everybody got pelted. Like every planet has tons of craters all over it. Like the early solar system was violent and chaotic. It was not like everyone's got their nice little almost circular or oval orbits. Everybody's got their own orbit. That was not the case in the beginning. We had to clean our orbit. We ate all the other rocks that were in this speed going around the sun. Everything else either fell in or flew away.
Fascinating stuff. So in the, I don't want to spoil the end of 2010: A Space Odyssey, but Odyssey 2, but essentially it ends with Jupiter becoming a. Oh God, I'm just going to spoil it now. Forget it. Forget I said anything. I don't want to spoil this 40-year-old book. Oh God, it's 50-year-olds now. Jesus Christ,
we're getting old.
So yeah, Mikey, I want to ask you before we do. Someone I said about before they want to redo the scene in Being John Malkovich with Trump. Which one do you mean? Do you mean the one where Malkovich goes into Malkovich and it's a restaurant and it's just full of people who have John Malkovich's face saying Malkovich? Is that what you want? You want someone to set up an AI thing where they deep fake it so it's Trump going into Trump's head and everyone in the restaurant, including the woman with the, Richie from Aphex Twin boobs, like saying Malkovich, and they'll say Trump instead. Trumpovich.
He would love that.
I don't know. Is that the scene you mean? Let me know in the chat. Mikey, are you seeing anything on the ground at the moment in terms of supermarket shelves going empty? Has that happened yet, or is it still?
Like I said, like over the weekend, the last stuff from China arrived tariff-free. So now the reduced orders and who said it in the chat earlier? Was it Person Impersonator? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Someone said earlier. The longshoremen and the dock workers are pissed because this is going to fuck up their job because there's not going to be any more containers coming. And if there's no containers coming, boss is going to say, you can stay home. I only got 2 containers. I'm going to take Larry and Johnny. All the rest of you guys can stay home. We only got 3 containers today.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I do like the name longshoreman. That's a great word, isn't it?
But they work on rivers too. I'm like, but I guess they have shores. I guess that would be the longest of shores.
We call them dockers in Liverpool. They're also known around the world as stevedores, which I like because it sounds like they might be stevedore. Yeah, it sounds like they might be someone from old Italy, and they paint pictures and kill people, and they go, "Hello, I'm a stevedore," and they're like, "Oh my God, it's that person who paints pictures and kills people." He goes, "No, I'm a docker. I work at the docks. Here's some swear words I've learned from around the world."
I was thinking of luchador, but I'm like, that's not it. But then, isn't it a trumpador? Or what's the dudes who would have the lutes and they would just
troubadour,
troumpadour.
Trumpadors. They're the people who adore Trump. Trumpadors.
Trumpadors.
Kid Rock singing songs about Trump. He's a trumpador.
Fuck
off, Kid Rock.
There's unironically a couple of MAGA musicians.
Yeah.
This is some of the worst music I've ever heard in my life. It's so bad. It's so the fact that they can't see, no one was out there making Obama mixtapes. No one's like, I got this new song about Hillary Clinton. You're going to love it. No one writes music about this.
It's a cult, Mikey. It's a cult. It's a massive, weird, strange cult. What we'll do, talking to your friends and family in America, is there anyone who is still
Greg,
no, this will work out? Was everyone saying, oh my God, what is he doing?
that's what this town hall thing has been. And then instead of like dealing with the public, they called everybody that went to the town halls, the people who were like, you know what, I am upset about this enough to take my Wednesday or Thursday evening, get a sitter or have grandma watch the kids. I need to go to this meeting to see what the hell's going on. They try to like raise their voices and try to like raise the issues that are bothering them. Trump immediately goes out on Fox News next morning and said, look at all those fake liberal Democrats over there filling up our meetings. That was the worst thing you could have done, because now they went to their town hall to get ignored or to get labeled as their worst dream, which is a libtard, a woke.
Well, this is like with the two fucking TERFs who had a fight in the women's toilets in Florida, both accusing each other of being trans. It's like, no, you're calling me my worst nightmare.
They're both no feelings were spared, but this is the people who he wants to, like, I don't know how he thinks this is gonna work. Those are the people he wants to pay $4 trillion in tariffs.
Yeah.
Because that's the goal. Yeah. Like, that's what they're not getting, is that, remember all that money he was talking about before? This is how he planned on getting the money. You, stupid. You. He's going to take $4 trillion from the American people is what his plan is. And they're like, this will hurt China because we are not paying them. We're paying America for nothing. It's a hard ticket to sell. So he can keep pretending that it's going to go well, but I fear we're probably at a flashpoint issue coming up here in probably, I'd say, about the next month. Somebody's going to get pissed off enough that there's going to be an incident. And then we'll be reporting on it like, yep, told you so on that one too. Because you cannot take poor people's last everything and grip it away from them. This new budget that they're talking about is horrendous. And this gets back to what One Angry Pagan was talking about with the environment. Like, he's cutting so much from the EPA. Like, they're essentially just like gutting it and putting like an oil exec in charge of it. Yeah. So hopefully these court cases can keep up. The courts have been doing a pretty good job. The Supreme Court, but the district courts and some of the smaller ones have been doing really good for like keeping people in the country and for slowing down things. And I know a lot of the colleges have filed multiple lawsuits, and that jams up the works. That's what everybody should be doing. If they do something that's illegal, take them to court, jam that shit up. Yeah, because eventually the midterms will be here.
Oh, they can't come quickly enough.
If
he allows them, mate.
Well, then that might be the flashpoint that I'm talking about. Like, if he goes out and says no midterms, I don't know what now we're in full on heads I win, tails you lose. Like, he's fucked at that point. If he tries to get rid of the midterms, there will be an uprising that unlike anything he's ever believed. There is no way the Republicans are going to sit there and say, I have to sit here and have this piece of shit garbage as a representative again after I want to get rid of him because you know what I'm saying? Like, you cut all of my veterans thing. I want to vote this guy out and you tell me no. Like, I'm not even thinking about it from the Democratic side, because we're going to clean up. Or like liberal or leftist people, we're going to clean up. They're going to be picking up districts left and right. Yeah, yeah. But them, on the other hand, they have, like, Joe Biden's gone. They have a majority in the House and the Senate. The judiciary is on their side. What do you have to show for yourself? Goose egg. Actually, no goose egg, because we can't fucking get eggs either. I wish we had some goose eggs. If only we had some goose eggs. But this is not something that he's gonna enjoy trying to sell to the American people.
There is talking about selling stuff to the American people. Well, there's a really disturbing report out today on Axios about Israel's plan to occupy and flatten all of Gaza if no deal is done by the time that Trump visits Israel. And basically they've said, we can do what we like.
No more
This is going to
wars,
be
guys.
mid-May. This is this month. This is like next week.
Kamala's going to put us in a forever war.
Yeah.
Forever war with Kamala. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't typically like to get into too much geopolitics stuff, especially when it comes to war and stuff like that, because the not sponsors, but the platforms get real funny about that kind of shit. But that's
why we need super chats, my friend, because they supersede all this bullshit.
No,
not worrying too much about getting demonetized, except to make sure
they'll pull
video gets put up the list. But if people are watching live because they're subscribers and we get some super chats, it supersedes them. I think it's a clever way of getting around the censors, Mikey.
I'm not talking about like them being upset. I'm just saying like nuking the channel, because if people accuse you of profiting from the war or giving any whatever support or whatever, they can come for you. So
Trump has effectively given Netanyahu a green light to do whatever the fuck he likes, and that's what the Israeli officials are saying.
But is that good for them? That's what they're not considering. The fact that you got somebody stupid enough to let you do your little plan, do you think that makes everybody safer?
Yeah.
If you think if you think wiping out an entire group of people makes you safer as a country, I got bad news for you. That is the worst possible thing that they can do. I don't know what Iran's trigger is, like what they're waiting for, like what that last straw will be. It's a dangerous game they're playing. And with Pete Hegseth in charge of the fucking military, I don't know that Israel's going to have the big brother defender that they once did. They're bragging about their recruitment numbers. Okay.
Well,
when you want to send kids over to the Middle East again, good luck selling that as well.
I read an interesting article that Saudi Arabia was effectively playing both sides in all this, and they were actually working with Israel and Iran, just like America did in the 1980s during the Iran-Iraq War, a war which saw trench warfare for the first time since World War One, a war that saw 1 million people killed in that war. And America and Britain, we're no saints in this. We were nominally on the side of Saddam Hussein, but we were actively supplying both sides with weapons because, there was a profit to be made, Mikey. And it looks like Saudi Arabia might be doing exactly the same thing now. They want to sort of stir shit up in the Middle East because they can profit from it. Do you know what your army needs a lot of to move anywhere, to get anywhere?
Diesel?
Vin Diesel. They need Vin Diesel to drive all
This is about family.
To do all their stunts. To drive all their cars off cliffs and then onto a landing platform.
Drive their big, slow fucking V8 slow-ass cars.
Yeah, no. They need a lot of oil. They need a lot of fuckload of oil. Any war needs oil. And what happened was in around 2009, I think we can pinpoint the time that it's actually happened. I think it was at the Copenhagen COP summit in, I think, 2009, or it might be in 2010. And it was when the big oil producing companies and the big oil producing countries like Saudi Arabia and Russia and all your Angola and all your favorites, all your Venezuela, they all got together and said, shit, two problems. People aren't having wars anymore. And it looks like in a few years' time, solar and wind power will be cheaper than digging fucking sludge out the ground on the other side of the fucking planet, bringing it over to your side of the planet, refining it, taking it to a service station, putting it in the ground, letting someone else pump it out the ground, and then it all gets burnt in your car, and then all the nutrients, all the lovely good stuff in there goes into the atmosphere, creating a hot blanket. I love a little hot blanket that keeps all the heat in. So yeah, that's what I think. And yeah, we've seen since around 2009, 2010, we've seen an increase in hostilities, war all around the world.
And see, this is the problem with Trump. Let's just get out the big risk map, you know what I'm saying, and then we just have our little pieces that we put everywhere. Trump is doing his best to cozy up to Russia. Russia and Iran are friends. North Korea and Russia and Iran are friends. We are supporting Israel. What is the play here?
Play both sides.
You are on both sides of this already. And your answer is to, I don't know if they're just trying to like play Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like to get them to overreact so that their buddies can wipe them out and then they don't have to deal with them. Like, I don't get what there's a double cross in here somewhere. There's probably a double cross. And like the start, and he pulls off his mask. And then like, I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. But all that is happening is he's isolating the U.S. from all of Europe, from all of South America, and all of the continent of Africa. Like, he's just pissing everyone off simply because he doesn't know how to say no to Netanyahu because he's scared of him. And he doesn't know how to say no to Putin because he's scared of him. And
do you think he's scared of them, or do you think he's pathetic?
I think he's cucked, to be honest.
I think he's pathetic.
I think
he wants to be their friend. I think he has no friends. And he's like, can I hang out with you guys? No one else likes
They
me
made
because
fun
my
of
little
me
tiny
at the
hands.
G7.
They made fun of me at the G7. They were laughing at
I had
me
to
behind
push
my back.
through to get a
My friend.
picture.
And Vladimir Putin sitting there going, oh, well, you know, Donnie, I would never make fun of you.
And then he put his wife naked up on TV, say, congratulations, you're president.
Yeah.
Like, he still never talked about it. He still I had to confirm that on like 16 different sources. I was like, this is fake. There is no way that Vladimir let them put naked pictures of Melania on TV the day that Trump won the election. There's no, this is fake.
Nope.
It
They
is
did.
straight up titties and everything on TV.
Well,
And
you know,
he hasn't
in
said
the-
a word.
when Trump got elected the first time, the members of the Duma, which is the Russian parliament in Moscow, they stood up and gave a standing ovation. When Trump first got elected, that tells you everything you need to know, really.
But we're
He's
crazy.
working for the Russians. He's working for the Russians, and if you vote for him, you vote for fuck over here. You're working for the Russians. Just fuck off. Grab a fucking brain. Grow a fucking brain. Anyway, Mikey, we've gone 20 minutes over, and we probably should wrap it up soon. But yeah, is there anything else that we didn't cover of the madness last week? Because I lose track.
His budget. We're gonna be covering that on the headliners tomorrow. We'll be taking a deep dive. I do want to do like a serious deep dive episode about Trump's money because I think people forget. Like they just assume businessman. I really want to take like a deep dive and look into some of his businesses because if people knew the timeline of when his casinos closed, like it was like multiple in like 16 months. Like I'm talking about bro lost everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And I think maybe a little background on. So if you guys want to do a little pre-homework, feel free to put that in your Google search. Trump hotels bankruptcy. And just see what pops up.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
It's a good time.
We should be thanking Trump in a way because he won the election in Canada and in Australia this week. Last week now. For the not Trump parties, and not only did they get their asses handed to them, the leaders of the coalition of the Nationalists and the Liberals in Australia and the Conservative Party in Canada, the leaders of those parties lost their seats. That's how popular Trump is around the world.
Billy reminds me Japan threatened bond dump.
Ooh.
And also the dollar's down 10%.
So Japan is the biggest owner of foreign bonds in America. Well, obviously Americans own more bonds, but like foreign owners of bonds, Japan is number one. Number two is China, and number three is the United Kingdom.
Well,
Three
y'all are
countries
about
that
to
are not
be.
particularly happy with Trump right now.
This. They can't just let him run roughshod over the earth. Everyone else doesn't have like all of our rules and constitution that he's ignoring. They could just be like, you know what? Fuck you. How about I just sell this shit for 4 years and wait for your ass to be gone? How about that? How about I'll
Yep.
buy it again later when it's cheaper?
Yep.
Oh, we got a super chat from David Stothard. 4.99 British pounds. Thanks for the show, guys. Thank you. You beautiful
very much.
human, you. How about air horn?
Woo! Right, I'm going to wrap up. So I'll just say thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for Morning Brew. So all that's left to say is thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the chat. Thanks to Mikey Famine from the Bin Podcast Network, which is well worth checking out.
We're busy kids over here.
Yeah, until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.